Hey guys, welcome back to the channel, where today we're in a slightly different locale. As you can see, this is my back room. This is like a little utility room I have on the back edge of the house. It's very cottagey, none of the walls are straight or anything like that. But essentially this is a little room I have now managed to dedicate and put aside some little workbench and all the rest of it, so that I can do some future projects and just generally tinker with my airsoft gear and other bits and pieces as well. And today is no exception to that, where to celebrate the recent release of Destiny 2's recent expansion, Edge of Fate, I thought it was about time I fulfilled a promise I've been making for a hell of a long time, and that's to turn my beloved Elite Force H8R into a sort of homage to the Ace of Spades from Destiny 2, as wielded by Cade 6. Now, obviously, the H8R is not a one-to-one representation of the Ace of Spades, but I think it's close enough that we can do a homage. It's not going to look exactly like it. It's going to be a tribute to the weapon. So, I've got a few ideas. There are different skins out for the Ace of Spades, a lot of different designs, colorations, that kind of thing that you can get in the game. I'd like to do something a little bit traditional, the black and the white and that kind of thing, although we may add a teensy-wincy bit of flair to it as well, and we'll see how we get on. But without further ado, let's start tearing down the H8R ready for paint. Right, having never actually disassembled the H8R before, this is going to be a little bit trial and error. Now, what I want to do more than anything else is keep the only moving parts in the entire thing, i.e. the loader, the trigger and the hammer, free of paint. And to be honest, them being black anyway is probably gonna look a little bit better, but I'm assuming if I undo all these little tiny screws, we will gain access to some of the internal elements of the revolver that might allow us to paint a little bit more freely. Yeah, that's definitely going to come away, but I think I might have to. That's not gripping anything anymore. I can feel the screw popping with turns. Some of these might still have a little bit of thread left before they're completely out. And what I don't want to do is, as this is an entirely polymer affair, there's one of them there, what I'm going to do is use this upturned cap. We'll see what ones come out, and we'll feed them into the cap so that I don't lose them. So yeah, this is a project I've been promising myself, promising you guys who have stuck with me so long on the channel as well, that I'd do bloody ages ago, and I've never actually done it, despite being a big fan of Destiny 2's story. Why are you being so stubborn? This last one. This last one seems to have enough thread to hold on, but I don't think it's actually holding anything. Yeah. There we go, that's going to lift out. Now, is it possible some of that's being held together by our little luminous friend here? If I just lift him out again, put him to one side. Now, what a dunce, what a dunce. There's plenty of screws on the other side of the gun as well. Let's undo all of these, shall we? And then maybe she'll come apart in one go. Lovely, lovely jubbly. So that's as complicated as any of this is. So what I want is to, now I'm going to show the camera just so I've got an idea of how I need this to lie. So we have the trigger arm here, which actually spins to the next shot, and I want to protect that from the paint. I'm going to try and coax it out. Now we've got a spring in here I don't want to lose. And the trigger, which should just sit on a little bar. Whoops, off she goes. And we can leave that bit in. Now hopefully by videoing it up close I should have a rough idea of how to put that gubbins back together. So there's our barrel and our hop, or it's more of a nub there. We have all the various gubbins in here, which I'm loath to sort of remove any of this stuff. I'm happy to paint the gun when it's in one piece, and I think all of this stuff will remain together. Look at how that's just providing ballast and weight. Literally a lump of lead. Now it's this, and again I'll bring this up close to the camera so we can see how I need to reinstall this, but it's actually just this bar here I want to remove in one piece. The rest of that can stay as is. For safety's sake of actually being able to shoot this thing anymore, I will remove the barrel. I don't want to paint the barrel either, and so that none of this gets painted, I'm going to move this to another table. Lovely. And then what we will do is just allow this to sit back together. Now in a lot of instances on a lot of different skins, that upper rail is usually white or something like that, so we're going to aim to leave that in place. Aim to leave the white there. But the tumbler is usually white as well. But I have noticed that the tumbler always looks massively worn. Has black, almost as if it's been painted itself, and then where obviously the tumbler rubs during cycling or rotation, it returns to black. So what we're going to have to do is almost go the other way around. I'm going to paint it black, then rub a lot of the surface back to white and some of the edging back to white, but leave where it would catch worn and black. It's gonna, it'll all become clear once we're actually doing it, but it's going to involve some thought, because otherwise I'll get it wrong and rub off the wrong section. Right, let's hit it with its first coat of matte black on this side. Now obviously this is going to be a two-sided affair. Okay, so very loosely, this is now touch dry. As you can see, she did stick to the bench a little bit, but I'm not worried about that because that's going to get sanded down anyway. But next phase is I'm going to mask up the rest of this trigger section, or the pistol grip section here. It could be a little bit dangerous because I could end up pulling a load of paint off. I don't really know. What I might do is just go around the edge and try and be as careful as humanly possible so that I don't create a section. But what I want is this, essentially this pistol grip to remain the colour it is. Now I'm going to just very lightly, I'm not actually going to like stick the tape on as hard as you perhaps normally would, because I just want the edge of it. I don't want the tape to pull any of the paint off, which this tape does seem unusually grippy, so I am not going to risk it. I just want to create a section across there. Let's pull you back that way, because I'm going to hit this with a very light coat of something else in a second, which you will then be... Now, I'm not going to coat any of the bottom trigger, so what I need to do is something like that. And we just literally need to face that off. I have some leftover comedian paint. Now there's not a lot in here. I'm hoping, now this is where I'm getting experimental, just a quick sheen across that will create a sort of almost translucent effect to the black. So it won't, the exposed section here won't just be matte black. It will have a sort of, I'm hoping, an oily sheen to it. I could be barking up completely the wrong tree, but let's find out. I can see an effect on that already, and that's quite cool. I don't want to like completely douse it in that. I just want it to have that slight shimmer. I will then, that's the only coat of that I'm going to give it. Let's carefully lift that off. So we've still got our black pistol grip. In fact, what I might do just to be safe, you sort of put my hand there, because I can see a little bit of overspray. And I'll just do that, just to make sure that that is exactly where I want it. Let's see how that's going to look. I think it'll be a nice contrast between what is a little bit more metallic, what is a little bit more plastic, that kind of thing. Make the pistol grip stand out a little bit more. Once I've rubbed it all down, I can clear coat it. I have got some clear coat here somewhere. That will protect all of that. Hey guys, back again. Another day, another dollar, hence the uniform. And we're still working on the revolver. The grip tape idea hasn't quite worked out. It left a kind of real lumpy section. So what I've done now is I've resprayed the pistol grip, as you can see, in the flat black. And what we're going to do is actually attempt to carve using a Dremel, we'll carve the sort of outlay of the Ace of Spades into the pistol grip. How well this is going to work, I have no idea. This could completely ruin the pistol, or the revolver. The revolver could completely ruin the revolver, or it could absolutely make the piece. Let's find out. So here we have it, guys, the finished article. I'm pretty pleased with it, I gotta say. The paint up the top here looks pretty good. There is a slight bit of overspray on the pistol grip itself, which I can sort out at a later date. That's not a massive issue as far as I can see. The pistol grip itself with the Ace of Spades logo, I think, has turned out quite well. I only dremeled the surface paint off, so the white underneath came through. Because the pistol grip was quite stippled in its own right, it gave this sort of slightly grainy effect to it, which was really nice actually. It gives it again a bit more of a worn-in look and feel. So yeah, I am very pleased with how it's turned out. I've given it a few test shots, fires perfectly. It's all golden.
I said, back in your cages.